All right, everyone, welcome and welcome back, and take 2 for tonight and 3 for the day. How many recordings have I made of making this radio and working on this and doing the other things, and how long has it been since I put down the recordings? Well, they say the first part of being really good at something is sucking really bad at something. Well, I suck really bad at putting this stuff together, so that's where we're at right now, and we'll see if we can get better, but I don't know. That's always the question as I adjust my microphone here to get a better reading, because apparently this is not very high anymore, but it was before. Oh well. Anyway, so we're back on the saddle. We're overcoming the fear. We know nobody cares. We know nobody's paying attention, and we know it's okay. We're going to try out a few things. We got some new things going on. If you came here listening to the rant, well, we'll get a little ranty in here. If you came in here want to know about the radio, because that's what the title of the thing said, hang on, we're going to get to that. And if you came in here wanting to watch videos of crazy light shows with jam band music, well, we got some new hobbies. That's kind of taking a back seat a little bit. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I mean, you can book it. Maybe see me on tour with Nectar, or if not, see Mick Brockett on tour with Nectar with his own light show and some stuff that's inspired by some of the stuff I've done. But otherwise, anyway, we're gonna get into this new stuff, and we're gonna see if we can get a little regular, and we're gonna see if we can suck a little less bad at this job, and open up a little bit, and maybe see if we can share a little bit and share back. I've seen a lot of really cool things lately. YouTube community of curmudgeon old men sharing their wisdom and knowledge with anybody who will take it, and I think that's pretty important. And I think that's something that's missing, is the people that will take it. And there's a lot of people that want that knowledge, and there's a lot of people willing to give it, and then putting them together has been tough. And I think technology, that's one of the good things about the technology that we're in right now. And we'll see where it goes, but so I'm inspired by all these guys, and let's talk about why we're here. This is the General Electric Super Radio, Model 7-2880-B, manufactured between 1979 and 1986 in Japan and Taiwan. This is the Mark I, and you can tell because it has only one speaker in the grill. And this was considered at one time, and may still be, the best AM/FM portable radio ever provided to the consumer market. It retailed for, I believe, $70 at the time, which was a bunch of money, but it did its job. It was fired by 8 D-cell batteries in the back where you could plug it into AC. It has an FM antenna and a big AM antenna. It has some interesting, I'm not sure exactly what I was reading about. Shout out to the Earmark, I guess it is. I don't know. If you Google GE Super Radio, there's a great site that has all the schematics and all sorts of information and history on the Super Radio, and that's where you want to go if you want to check it out. If I'm not too lazy, I will provide a link, but otherwise just look it up. It's pretty cool, and I wouldn't have been able to do anything what I've done with this. So anyway, it's a great radio. I remember, now this is my dad's radio. It's my radio now. My dad has it's Mark II twin down in Florida, and this one stayed in New York when he left. So I cleaned it up. Okay. You notice there's still white paint on there. That's white paint from the house that it has no more white anymore. It used to be blue with white trim, and now it's not. So that was a long, long time ago. This sat in the bathroom of our house. That was blue. And when the light switch turned on, it was clever. It did it on the radio, and you'd listen to the local radio station, the local AM community radio station. More about that later. So that was cool. And the other thing that was really cool about this, we used to go camping in the Adirondacks, and you could really pick up radio stations from nowhere. Now, we go to the Illumenatrix now, and there's a handful of NPR stations, and you can always pick up fringe stations and a bunch of FM stations from Utica and Watertown. They're powerful enough to get into most of the places, you know, down in the valley, maybe not. And there's a couple of small stations, and there's the NPR cluster, and there's plenty going on out there. But when I was a kid, there was nothing, and you didn't have. You just don't understand. When you went camping, you were roughing it. There was no like, you had 2 sets of batteries for the whole week for the Walkman and maybe 10 tapes, and you couldn't get anything on the Walkman radio. And here's my dad with the super radio picking up stations from all over the place. You want to listen to talk radio, you want to listen to the music. And this was the cool thing about AM radio back then, radio in general, before the great corporate takeover, is there was so much out there, diverse. There was so much different little things here, there, different formats, different things, especially on the AM dial. I mean, there's lots of kooky stuff, but like lots of people talking about lots of different things all over. I remember at night, the cool thing was that you could pick, I mean, you know how it goes, you pick up on the skip and you just pick up crazy stations from all over the place. Oh, what's everybody in Pittsburgh talking about? Oh, listen to these guys in Boston talk about whatever they're talking about with their funny accents. Oh, that's not even English. I don't know. That must be from Montreal. And then even farther and farther away. I mean, I remember picking up stations from. It depends on where you are, but I remember picking up stations real far. You know, that's a cool thing to do. AM is. Well, all radio is hurting because it's not diverse anymore. After the mass conglomeration around 2000, it's dying a slow death. Of course, the internet is putting the nails in the coffin, and high-speed internet everywhere is making it even worse. But FM's still holding on, and it's not very good, though. And AM, though, is not... It's on life support. There's a lot of things not... have AM. I don't think AM's working anymore. There was a short science fiction story where the guy was in some kind of weird quasi-slave company town colony on some other planet, and he joined the band of rebels, and due to weird conditions it was really hard to get around, and they needed radio, but of course if you use radio then the other people could get you. But what they did was he remembered this weird thing called AM radio, and used AM radio to get around the FM, because they didn't have AM transmitters in their things anymore. So, but the problem with this, AM is dead in the sense that there's nothing coming in from the airwaves worth listening to anymore. The other problem with AM is it is literally dead by all the electromagnetic interference that we've put up around us. Case in point, we will put this on the AM band. We'll put this on. And this is all we're going to get in here. There's just too much interference from the LED lights, from the computer, from just metal, I was reading about it. It's kind of sad. AM is just a dying technology. It's just I'd like to find use for it in micro AM, but that's a different story. Back to this though. So here I am with my dad's radio. Now I remember going to buy this radio. It might not have been this one. It might have been the other one that he has, but it was because my dad worked for GE and it was some kind of Christmas thing, and we went to where the factory was, where he worked, which was a bunch of towns over, and so it was a big deal to go there. I was really small, and it was only GE people that could go there, and it was like a weird thing. It was some building. I don't know what it was. It might have been a storefront, like a thing. This was in 1982 or something like that. And I'm picturing like a church rec hall with like a stage at one end and a basketball court. And you walked in, and there was like just tables everywhere with stuff on it. I mean, this is a really hazy memory, but with merchandise on it. It was all GE products, and GE actually made good products back then. And I remember buying, I don't think it was this one. I think it was the one that my dad still has, but that's a very vivid memory of this, of course. This was the one that was in the bathroom. Now, this got beat to hell. Now, the guy was also out in his garage and out for the last 20 years in his last house before he moved to Florida. when I got it, it didn't have an antenna on it. It was just a piece of copper wire sticking out of the back. It was, you think it's dirty now, it was really beat up. And of course, the coup de grace, there is no battery cover. The battery cover is gone, but that's okay. I've got 6 D cells in there right now, and that's fine for now because it's just an AM/FM radio. There's no moving parts. I don't get copyright check. Now, I must say, so the treble and the bass work, volume works, sounds good. That's FM. This is a 40-year-old radio with that original speaker. Big stamp on it, made in Japan. It's a 5-watt, 4-ohm speaker. Anyway, it's just a regular old speaker. One speaker in there, 6 inches. It's beautiful, beautiful. But what am I going to do with this dang thing? It's an AM/FM radio. It stinks. All right, so if anybody's been paying attention here, I know you've noticed 2 things. One, this is not the original switch. And if you're into these radios, you know that this is something that could be broken very easily. And I want to say that I did not do that. I inherited this like this. And my dad must have done this. He must have got in there. And I know that because when I got in there, and I'll show you, it had his signature stuff on it. Then the other is this button right here. And this is the button that I installed. And so what I have done, and this is phase 1 of the transformation of the Super Radio into the absolute world's best radio. Push that bad boy on. Ho! What is that they say? Everything's better with Bluetooth. Everything's better with Bluetooth. So we can just, you know, this is not really made for music. What this is made for is, I should have had this set up better. What this is made for.
What the hell are you talking about?
Is listening.
Nina looked up at her father.
To
he looked like
podcast.
Someone in one of his movies. A guy who'd been shot by the girl he loves.
AM radio was made to transmit voice.
Stone dead.
This speaker
and all
was
his
made
eyes said,
to transmit
well, why?
Voice.
His name is Lee, Nina
This
said. We met upstate.
Is made to listen to the human voice. And now I can with the magic silver button. AM/FM still works, although AM is just dead. So I'm sure you guys want to see what's going on inside. Let's see what's going on inside. We're at about 13 minutes. We got a few more minutes. Let's give this some light. Let's see what's going on. Now, I'll pull this guy off. And these pots come off. These things also come off, but don't worry about that. And these things are on the inside. On the back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there's a 7th one in here. It's short. Mine's all rusted out and stripped. I didn't even bother to fix it yet. Now I've already taken these screws out, so we flip it back over. Let's see if I'm doing this right. Let's zoom this out just a little bit. All right. And we're gonna lift up. Oh, I didn't set this right. See, I should have had that prepared. Got the old gaffer tape on there holding the batteries. That's okay for now. Anybody's got a 3D CAD file for the battery, let me know, because that's what we need. So we can get a 3D print of the battery case. I've been scouring around, but I'm not a big 3D printer nerd, so I don't know the sites to go on. I found the right thing. My buddy Will sent me on a chase, and I didn't find what I needed yet. So anyway, this kind of comes up here like this, and if you fold this up now, these wires are short, they're soldered on, sorry. Here's that switch that I was talking about, that we were looking at from the inside. Oh, that's a crappy zoom. Can't really see that very well at all, can you? Well, and there's the new switch that I wired in. So I cleaned all this stuff up, cleaned the board up. There's other places where you can look at this board. Let's see if I can get over here. See if I can get this in here. Alright, I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, there's that board. Pretty crazy, huh? Alright, now, there is the old Bluetooth. Now, what I did was, this is a little $12.99 Bluetooth board. I wonder if that's what's going on with the AM. The AM's giving me a hard time. It's $29.99 Bluetooth board, or $12.99 Bluetooth board I bought from Lord Bezos, and it takes 9 to 12 volt power and outputs stereo. Of course, this is a mono, but what I did was, here's the Bluetooth. There's the Bluetooth antenna tucked away under here underneath the AM radio. Let's see, is that better? I don't know. Then here's the stereo going into 2 wires, going into ground. Ground comes up here. This is the ground. This is the ground stack for a big ground stack. So I just tapped it onto the ground stack. I hope you guys can see this. I hope this is coming through. And then that's doing the light. Will that help? Maybe. All right. Well, anyway, put it on the ground stack. What else did I do? Oh, and then ran the positive wire and tapped it right in up here on the volume pot. I was going to tap it in here under the AM FM. I was going to sacrifice the AM and put the Bluetooth into the AM slot on this switch, because this is the AM FM switch. I was watching a YouTube video of some other guy was doing another old timey repair, and he said, just stick it to this to the volume pot. And so I tried it there, and I tried it on the treble and the volume bass to make sure it wasn't going this way first, but it's going volume first and then through. That was the place to go, and it still connects to all that, runs through all of that there. The power I tucked away underneath, and ran underneath here and grabbed the ground that was on the battery casing, which is connected in to the main ground. And then for the regular power, I took it over here. Now this wire I replaced. This is the power switch wire that goes up here, on, off, and then that jumps over to the push button switch. So you turn the power on here, and then you can turn the power on to the Bluetooth. And if you turn the power off of the Bluetooth, turn the switch off the Bluetooth, it turns the power off, so as not to interfere with any of the potential AM signal. Because we just talked about, the AM. But anyway, that's that's phase one of this. That's a horrible video. I hope that's not too bad how you see that in there. But that's how I did it. Ran it in. I used minimal hot glue, and I, tried to do the best I could. And I think the Bluetooth sounds actually really good. And I'm excited that it came out as good as it did. I'm a little disappointed, I think. Let's put this back together because we don't want to mess around with this. A little disappointed that the AM doesn't work better, but it's not that the AM doesn't work better, it's that there's just nothing that the radio can do about it, you know what I mean? It's not like that. Okay, now when you put these pots back on, they do go in a certain order. Trying to just roll them down to make sure that their off is in the right position. Every time I pick it up, it doesn't want to reconnect. Connect, please. Oh. Volume down. Sometimes. I'm a dingy. There it goes. Anyway, alright, so that's the story of the Super Radio. And I said this is phase one of the renovation. Now, I was fiddling around there because what happens is, especially when I've been messing in and out, because there's no battery cover, that's starting to be a little bit of a problem. So what we're going to do is, I got to learn a little bit more about batteries, but there's no reason why I can't replace those 6D cells with some kind of rechargeable lithium-ion battery pack and a rechargeable thing, so I can plug this into USB, recharge the battery, charges off, puts off the 9 volts that I need, and then we're really going to be cooking with gas because it's going to be, for all intents and purposes, a vintage electronic Bluetooth speaker with a charger. I'll be able to big battery in it, charge whatever, and I'll put a bunch of batteries in there. I like the way it sounds better than the new stuff. I like that, and I like what now. A lot of the videos that I watch, people are doing this, they're taking it apart, they're looking at it, let's see this, let's do that, we fast forward a little bit, maybe there's a cut here, a cut there, there's a lot of clever editing, I don't know what's going on, but I couldn't do it because a lot of what I'm doing is just standing around staring at the dang thing, going, I don't know, I don't understand, maybe it's this wire, I think it's this red wire, but the schematic says it's a purple wire, but I don't have a purple wire. Well, I do have a purple wire, but it's over here, so I don't think it's that one. Maybe it's that red one supposed to be the purple one. I'm not sure. And around and around and around we go. And the doubt, and I don't want to clip it. And I don't want to make it worse than it is. By the way, the AM was even worse. But I reflowed all the connection points and stuff and put some more solder in a resistor, as I heard online might work. And it sort of worked better, but not really. So this is what I want to do. I want to get some stuff going like this, and I want to tinker, and I want to improve on this, and I want to catch the old technology up and put it in so it's useful to the new, and I'm really excited about that. And so thanks for sharing this little project, and I know the video sucks, but share it anyway if you think that it's worthy, and I don't think it is, but we're going to put it out there anyway. I want you guys to stay tuned. We're going to do some more projects. I'm going to keep you. Eventually, I want to do Super Radio fix it. A second job on this. When we put the batteries in, we'll see what happens with that. And I've got a bunch of other projects that are going to be coming up around the place. And I do have the original teardowns and stuff like that I might put up if that's interesting to anybody. But right now, we're just going to put this out into the ether and see if we can't get some hits on this, because there's not a lot of traction about the Super Radio, and I know I'm rared up and fired up to be back in the saddle again. I'm really sad about AM radio. I'm really sad about losing some of the things of our past, but I'm really glad to be resurrecting some of the sound. This is the 70s and 80s and 90s. Well, not so much into the early 90s stuff, I guess. The sound was there. The sound, and it was warmer, and it was just, I don't know, it was different. Going back to the cassettes and going back to the old radios, and I don't know. But we got to keep moving forward, and it's stupid to rely completely on the old technology. So let's start upgrading a little bit. But let's keep the aesthetic, let's keep the old aesthetic, and let's keep what we need. So I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. If you made it this far, God help you. But thanks, and we'll try again next time.